The Manuscript of Survival, Part 411. April 14, 2014. We would like to take the occasion today to delve into the topic of light, and we will do so in the hope that it will illuminate some hitherto darkened corners within you all, and also in the hope that these words will help to trigger some of you in a way that will help to illuminate the rest of mankind. You see, you are here with a very specific task in mind, and even if that task is still very much hidden from view for most of you, it is coming up to the surface at an ever-increasing speed. For as you are all aware of, you are here to resurrect the glory of mankind in her surroundings, in the way of manifesting a brand new version of both that will enable you all to live in a way that will help to sustain you all in a continuous and benevolent cycle of enlightenment. For when we talk of enlightenment, we do so in a very literal way, and we do so also in a more circuitous way, as light is so much more than the illumination you can perceive with your own eyes. You see, what you see is simply a fragment of all there is, and even if this is not news to any of you, it is still a fact that needs to be emphasized again and again. For mankind has in so many ways been trained to disregard anything that cannot be seen, and as such you have grown accustomed to exist on a very superficial level, one that is literally just the surface of all there is. But now, what has been kept hidden from you will once again become visible, and it will be so in a way that will serve to dispel all of the old notions of reality, and replace them with something that far surpasses this old and worn-out illusion. Still, these words are not giving you anything new, but what we are about to delve into now will be perceived as news to many of you, while for others, it will serve to increase the lingering supposition you have already started to feel into. For now, the true role of the light, and indeed, the very diverse nature of light will come more and more into focus, and that is because you are finally able to discern this information yourselves. For now, your whole receptory system has been fine-tuned to such a degree, it is finally able to receive and interpret the subtle and not so subtle signals coming your way, and as such, what has been there all along will finally come into view for the general masses. For as we have told you again and again, you already possess everything you need in order to rectify all that is wrong on this planet, and now, bit by bit, this information will finally come to the surface for all to see. And it will do so by the help of many of you. For you are here as carriers of light, and when we use the term light this time, it is in the term of information, and this information, when exposed to the general public, will help to light new flames that in turn will engender such a vast landslide of innovative forces in mankind, the unstoppable tide of change will take on a whole new direction and magnitude. For now, you will suddenly start to see the obvious, and you will start to see the simplicity and the beautiful structure that underlies everything that exists, and you will see the simple solution that will make all of the old and misinterpreted ways of mankind to become null and void in an instant. For you will see what lies within you in the form of energetic pathways, ready and able to start to unfold their vast and magnificent machinery, and when they do, they will unleash that inherent creative intelligence that you are literally walking around within. For your physical vehicle, that much maligned and often ridiculed cylinder of flesh and blood is nothing less than a vast library of knowledge, stored safely within your very being, in a way that makes it instantly accessible the moment you manage to break through that old barrier of disbelief. And best of all, this simple solution, under your very noses, is already starting to show its true colors to some of your bright minds. For remember, the light is seeping in everywhere, and it has done so for quite a while, and it has also had free access into many a trained mind living amongst you, working as scholars and scientists on all levels. And so, many of them have already started to see this light and they have followed the tantalizing trails this light has described, and they have started to pick out bits and pieces of the information that this light carries. But until now, all of this has been merely fragments of the whole, and as such, a comprehensive picture has yet to be established. And one of the reasons for this is the old and well-known presence of the ego. For the ego-driven mind will always try to keep the cards close to the chest, and they will try to gain by stepping over others, and they will try to hide information in order to gain an advantage for themselves. In other words, Much research has been done in order to glorify the author, but now, that old notion of an ego-driven society is starting to fade away, and a new way of existence is coming to the fore. And in this new existence, collaboration and cooperation for the common good will be the driving force behind it all, and this in itself will ensure that many formerly closed doors will be flung wide open. And so, people used to sitting isolated within their own field will understand the powerful effect of collaboration across any of the divisive borders, both intellectually and those old borders defining any idea or concept as someone's property. For now, a mighty force will be unleashed, and it will be unleashed in a way that will leave no stone unturned in the quest for freedom for all. And this concept of freedom encompasses everything, as this form of freedom is in fact nothing less than a way of life unfettered by any limitations when it comes to access to knowledge and energy. In other words, a society fueled by a never-ending supply of energy that will enable it to run in an endless cycle of energetic transformation, so that no harm will come out of it for any of the involved parties. In other words, you will once more realize that you are able to live a fully sustainable life, one that will be geared towards attaining more knowledge that in turn will benefit all those around you. For you will finally understand to live as one connected organism, where each individual member cooperates with everyone else, in the same beautiful cohesive manner as all of the cells in that wondrous body of yours are already doing. For it is all here already, there is nothing new that needs to be invented, for all of the desired systems are already in place, both on the micro and a macro level, and now, you will once again become fully connected members of this vast and hyper-organized structure that encompasses all of creation. Or to be more specific, you will once again become conscious members of this huge structure, and as such, you will start to reap all of the benefits from this hitherto undiscovered treasure that is permeating everything you see and indeed all the things unseen as well. And what lies at its very core, is the light we refer to, the one that is not the visible light you can see on the outside, but the light that comes in all shapes and forms and is an intrinsic part of it all. For light is much more than a particle or a wave, it comes in all shapes and forms, from a liquid to a solid mass, a gaseous substance or as plasma. We know that this is not news to many of you, but we also know that these words will start to lift some blinkers of so many others. This in turn will start off some very interesting processes within many of you, and it will do so in perhaps some unexpected places. For again, you each came in with a very specific task to fulfill, and for many of you, this task will show itself to be a distributor of information, and not only that, but information at a level that you had no idea you could even be associated with at the outset. For many of you will help to disseminate advanced technological and scientific information that will be delivered to some already highly trained and indeed highly fertile brains already in place in the scientific communities all around your globe, and so, your role will be as a cross between a go-between and a catalyst. For you will help to shed light on topics that may seem far removed from your normal way of life, and you will do so in a manner that ensures it will be delivered to the perfect recipient. And when we say perfect recipient, we mean someone who can make sure that this invaluable information is being utilized in the most efficient and indeed beneficial of ways, and of course, in ways that benefits all, not just a selected few. For the days of keeping information in a sequestered manner that will help to enrich a chosen few is long gone, for the information we are alluding to will not be able to be sequestered thus. For in order to even be able to receive this light-carried information, you will have to vibrate at the right frequency, and anything or anyone still under the influence of the old density of the ego-based system, is simply not able to access any of this high-frequency information. Remember, all of mankind is set up with these same inherent systems that enables them to log on to this vast grid of energetic filaments that crisscross all of creation, but only if an individual is willing to raise their own vibration by voluntarily opening up for these high frequencies to retune their own density from the old to the new one carrying the same tune as the light. So this cannot in any way be mismanaged, for this high voltage information, these snippets of golden nuggets of information have no value unless they are being connected to the perfect receiver, the person or persons that vibrate at just the right frequency. For light equals information equals frequency, and now, you have all started to tune into this, for you, brand new bandwidth, one that carries an enormous amount of potential in the form of energy and information, and one that will continue to serve this up to each and every one of you freely, and for eternity. So as soon as you manage to fully connect to these channels of light that you are already set up with, a flow of majestic proportions will start to run through not only you, but this whole planet. For you cannot stay connected to this and still think of yourself as a separate being, for as soon as these energies really start to flow within you, they will also wash away any and all ideas of separation, and the old adage of becoming one will become crystal clear to you all. And yes, we choose our words carefully here, for the concept, living crystals, is one of the first that will arise out of all of this, and we know that this is indeed a concept that has already started to resurface in quite a few of you. Again, we speak perhaps a little bit in riddles, and as usual, we refrain from giving away any details beforehand, but again, that is for very good reason. And the reason is simply this: you are about to discover this all by yourself. For now, you have been reprogrammed to start to uncover all of the secrets that has been lying and waiting for you, under your very noses. And as we have told you again and again, this will not be done for you, but by you, and so too, this. But this will truly be a labor of love, and it will be a magnificent example of learning to interact and interconnect with your fellow men in a very new way, where you will each furnish vital pieces to so many puzzles. For this is not a kind of work that can be taken on in solitude, this is for all intents and purposes a collective effort, as we have stated again and again, and now, that will become more and more crystal clear to you all. Let us leave it at that, for we know that buttons have been pushed and information will start to appear to so many of you in the upcoming days and weeks, and we are truly looking forward to see the wondrous results that all of this collective realignment will engender. The Constant Companions. Channeled by Asia North. asianorth.wordpress.com